Ooh, and happy Saturday night, everybody, slash Sunday morning, and welcome in. This is a special Saturday night show. Big Red EDC is not on tonight, so I figured I'd jump in his spot and keep everybody entertained. Maybe. Maybe we'll keep everybody entertained. I don't know. So, how's everybody tonight? Everybody doing all right? I know I'm doing all right. It's a pretty cool day today. I don't know if anybody saw the short I posted earlier because it didn't seem like a lot of people watched that one, but it was kind of cool. I went to this place in Pennsylvania in Canadiensis, PA, and it's called Lake Fred. And what it is, it's this little, it's not even a lake, it's like a pond. Maybe, yeah, it's like a big pond. And somebody put a sculpture of a Loch Ness monster in there, and they call it the Lake Fred Monster. So it's kind of a little roadside attraction. So I stopped there and I figured that would be a great place to do the pocket check for what I was carrying today. So we spent the day in a large part of the day up in Pennsylvania. We went up to Mountaintop, yes, Mountaintop to Skytop Lounge up there, Lodge, I should say. Beautiful place, man. Holy cow! But yeah, the Lake Fred thing, the Lake Fred monster is pretty cool. Like I said, it's a roadside attraction that's been there for years, and people just cutting through, stop there, take photos, and that kind of thing. It's like literally a 5 minute stop. I mean, but it's definitely worth it if you drive by. I wouldn't go out of my way to get there, but hey, Caleb, what's up, buddy? Oh no, come on, Caleb, you can make it. I know you can do it, buddy. I got faith in you. So, hey, Joe, welcome aboard, buddy. How's things? Now, I know a bunch of people were over in G Balls Live. So, hey, Ron, how you doing today? Was everybody at Ron's live stream today? Ron had a good turnout. I was really happy to see that. Ron did a really good job on his live stream today. So, thumbs up, Ron. I enjoyed it. And did anybody stop by to help? Anybody, like I said, stop by Weldon Carey's celebration today? He was celebrating 6,000 subs. Really happy for Weld. He's a good kid, and he was really happy. Let me just straighten this up slightly because I feel like I'm tilted. But I was really happy to see, see all the success he's having. Okay. Yeah, Weld's a good kid. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He does a really good job too with that channel. I can't believe the way he's grown it. I mean, it came out of nowhere and it's so fast. I mean, like over the last year to get up to 6,000, you know, I mean, blows me away. I mean, and he puts the work in. I mean, he's putting up like 3 shorts a day, a couple of long form videos, and he does the live. So, I mean, good for him. He's grinding. But and tomorrow there's going to be a couple of really good lives too. Barbie is going to be celebrating her 1100th subscriber. She's got a giveaway going. So everybody should stop by and hang out at Barbie's. I'm not sure if I'm going to be home. I've got some things this weekend we're traveling and doing some things. I'm not sure if I'm going to be home or not. But if I'm not, well, congratulations, Barbie. You're doing great. So, and everybody, go check out Rolf's channel too. I know he broke 100 subs this week. Hopefully he'll get to 200 quickly and grow from there. But, all right, so what's everybody carrying? I'll show you what I carried today. I carried 2 knives that are relatively new to the channel and new to me. The one I was carrying, this came in from Aries EDC. I won his giveaway last week, and he got this out really quick. And this is the Boker Plus Keon 2.0. Really kind of cool knife. You can tell it's inspired by a bug out, but just a nice knife. I like the blade. I love the swedge on top here. Really lightweight handles. You've got that wire clip there I like wire clips. They usually go in and out very easy. This one's really tight. It's reversible too, which I like. You know, feels really nice. Like I said, I was carrying this today and very fidgety. You got that excellent bar lock on there. And again, this is the Boker, the Keon, the Boker Plus Keon 2. So really like this one. I don't have a lot of Boker knives. I only have two others. I have a automatic Kalashnikov, and then I have the manual Kalashnikov. So really happy with that. So I carried that, and then I carried this one I got from Kaiser. This is a fixed blade, and this is the Kaiser Groom. So this came in this week. I didn't get a lot in this week, but check this thing out. It's got a very unique look. D2 steel. This is the Kaiser Groom. It's got these blue denim micarta scales. If you don't like the denim micarta, in the box they include the black G10 scales as well. So you could just swap those out. But feels really nice. And right now you could get these really cheap. These are discontinued now, but you could pick these up on Amazon right now for 28 bucks. And I believe when I bought this, there was a discount code. So it came down to like 20, I don't know, like 24 bucks or so. It's got the nice, the old Kaiser logo, which I love. It's a D2. It's a decent sized blade. And it really feels great because you got that little choke up spot right there. And it just kind of feels great. And you got some really nice jimping here. And just really kind of cool looking knife. You know? It doesn't run. It's a fixie. It's a fixie. And I know you're not a big fixie guy, but I like with my whatchamacallit, with my carry, I always carry in the scout position. Hey, Neil. I always carry a fixed blade behind my back in the scout carry. You know. Hey, Kevin. So there's that. So that's basically what I was carrying, besides like my multi-tool and all that stuff. But blade-wise, that's what I carried. What do you guys carry? I know you guys are carrying some cool stuff. But I had a guy stop me today and point out my Bigfoot / Sasquatch hat. And then he proceeded to tell me how he loves all the Bigfoot TV shows. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I didn't know, Henry G, welcome in. I didn't know the show there must be some new Bigfoot show that I'm not aware of that he was telling me about. So, I mean, back in the day, I used to watch Finding Bigfoot and watch them not find Bigfoot. But, All right, so you guys don't want to share what you're carrying. Come on now. I know you guys got cool stuff. Ron, the Militar is such a great knife. I couldn't blame you if you carried that every day of the year, for the next 10 years. Such a great knife. Sage 6, nice. Lord Woki's prototype. Okay. Speaking of which, something else that came into the channel this week as part of the Pickled Steel Pass Around group is this one, the Rhino. This is a knife that when I looked at it on the website, I was like, that's not really an attractive knife. But now that I've got it, and I've got it in hand, one, it feels great. The ergonomics are fantastic. And I've actually really liked this. You've got that, it's a little subtle touch, but you've got the blue around the pivot. The deep carry clip right there. It is reversible. Liner lock, and drop shutty. Sounds great. And this is a chunker of a knife, man. And you got some, like I said, great jimping up here. The jimping is a little slick. Like, it doesn't grab as well as I think it should, but That's my real complaint on it. And these studs are really big. I don't know if you can see that. But overall, I got to say, I like this much more than I thought it would. When it first appeared on the Pickle Steel website, I was like, that is an ugly knife. But now that I have it in hand, I kind of like it. H5 bug out blades yesterday. Nice. Hey, Brown Sugar. Welcome in. How hard is it? Hey, Kevin, how hard is it to do an etched, do the etching on the blades? It's always something I've been interested in. Like, there's a couple of knives that I want to send out to either Dark Water or maybe Jimmy Crow to have them work on some stuff. I've got a couple of knives, but it's all right. So I know there's videos on it on YouTube, but does it require a lot of different equipment, or is it something you can do at home easily? It's something I'd like to try, and I've got a lot of knives to try it on. So, but that's really cool. You got to show those off at some point. So we've got 12 people here. It's a little bit of a slow start, but we'll build up. I know you guys are here. So something else that came into the channel this week, and this was also part of the giveaway from, nope, got all the stuff. Oh, cool. Very cool. So this came in from Aries EDC as well, from the giveaway I won last weekend. And this is a Ganzo. And this one, if you look at it handle-wise, looks exactly like a Rat 2. And blade-wise, it looks just like a Rat 2. With one difference. They added a crossbar lock. So it's not a liner lock. So I think that's what separates it. I wouldn't call it a clone necessarily, because I think the crossbar lock is maybe a little bit of an upgrade. And this one is a 440C steel, where my Rat 2 is an AUS 8. Pretty much on par. But that's okay. That's okay. I had no idea anybody else was going live tonight. I had talked to Zach, and he told me it was fine, go live, because he was originally thinking about going live, and I told him I wanted to go live, and I thought he was going to pop in, but he was like, no, just go on. I was like, okay, because I was originally thinking about maybe I could do the show with him together. I still haven't done a show with anybody yet, so a couple of you guys I want to get on, so check that out. And again, that's a Ganzo. And man, it looks so much like a Rat 2, except that they added crossbar lock instead of a liner lock to kind of make it their own. So it's not a direct clone, but. And then something I talked about last week, for those who were here, and there was a lot of people here last week, was that I ordered the scales for my T-Kel, the Century grip with the Century grip. So they came, and I put on the Century grip. Check that out. This makes this, to me, such a better functioning knife with the Century grip. And the reason why is because it would be a 3-finger knife. But now with the Century grip, it's a full 4-finger. So you get much better control, and it's not going to slip out. If it does, you're caught, Hey, Roger, welcome in. So what do you guys think? Ron, absolutely. I'll talk to you about this this week, because I am going on again tomorrow. This was just kind of a pop-up because, again, Big Red wasn't on. So I am going to do my regular spot tomorrow. But what do you guys think? You think it's a nice upgrade? Now, the one thing I do miss is that the original scales on this were that beautiful blue. And these only come in black or the olive drab that you see here. But I think I'm going to dye them. I think I'm going to dye them almost like a, not necessarily a teal. I want it to be a little bit more blue, but somewhere in between a blue and a teal, somewhere in that range, makes it a little bit less tactical and a little bit less intimidating. But I know I love the Century grip on this. Like I said, That is so good. Plus, it also has a hardened end here. If you had to use it as a glass breaker, you could. I don't think it'll be really as effective as a true, ceramic glass breaker, but or you could use it, if you had to just kind of strike with it as opposed to, But another thing that had come in, I think I showed you guys this last week, but I'm not sure. This was the knife I won from Kaiser. This was the Buddy. So I wanted to show you because I had the Buddy. I had this Buddy, that was the original one that I got from the Kickstarter campaign when I backed it. This has the green micarta and the black. It has okay. So it's not really a coating on the TCAL. It's like they call it a distressed finish. So it's got imperfections already in it, so to speak. So it's not going to show wear because it has that, they call it that battle worn distressed finish. So it's not like it's a high polish or anything like that. I think it might be some type of bead blasting, but I'm not sure. So like I said, this was the one that very cool. Yeah, it's a nice knife to win. But so this was the one I got from Kickstarter. And then this was the one that I won in the giveaway. What I love is you could see through here and see the paw print inside. So I've got now the two versions of it. And man, I really love this as an EDC fixie. It's small enough that it can be concealed easy, but it's big enough to be useful. Like I said, this one's just adorable with the acrylic, with the paw print. So I'm really happy. I generally don't like to have, I know some people will have doubles, sometimes triples of a specific knife. I generally don't. I like to have one because I like to sample a lot of different knives. The only ones I have multiples of are now the Buddies and the Militars. And that's because the Militars are so many different colorways. Okay, Nickelback. Okay, that's what they're calling it. But yeah, I mean, I said it in the video the other day I did on the TCAL. I think that is the hardest use small fixie that you can get. I think you could abuse the hell out of that knife. Caleb, what's great? They're not that expensive. And right now, I know you're doing you have a little trouble with your bank account and whatnot, but because they stole your identity, which really sucks. But that being said, they're at a great price point right now. They're like around $39, which is really good. That's basically, they were $29 when you backed them on Kickstarter. It was like $10 more. But yeah, really nice. Really nice. So what else came in this week? So this thing came in. This actually came in last week. This is the knife that I gave away last week. That's actually, I forgot, it was supposed to go out in the mail today, but I forgot the post offices are closed because of the holiday on Monday. So I didn't get to send it out. But I have one for myself. So in case you don't know, this is the Cold Steel, the click and clip folder. It comes with an additional blade that's interchangeable, and it has a triad lock. So it's a damn tough knife. And this is new, so it's kind of, it's not as, yeah. There you go. Easily thumb deployed if you do it right. Not trying to do it on camera. Really great little drop point blade there. But the cool thing about this is that it has the secondary blade, which is a serrated. See if you can see that. So it's so easy to change out. What you do is you press down on your triad lock. When it gets to like this position, you just pull it out. And then you just take it, hold that down here, slide that in, and boom, you're locked into place. And the amazing thing is, there is no blade play whatsoever, no left and right play, no up and down play. I'm shocked at how a blade that's so interchangeable, right, can just lock in there. It's when you look at it in theory, it's such a great little system, you know. And they sell other blades, so it comes with the serrated, you know, comes with the serrated, and then it comes with the drop point. But they sell others. They sell Tanto blades. They sell like 3 other blades that you can buy, and they're not expensive. So a couple of things it does: gives you options. Also gives you the fact that if you dull the crap out of the blade, because it's not a great blade steel. I think it's only like a, if I remember right, it's like a 5 CR. But it doesn't really matter because you could just swap these out. And like I said, the blades are really expensive. I think it's like a 4-pack of blades for like, I don't know. I think I saw them, they're like $9 or so. It wasn't expensive at all. And you've got that triad lock, and you know the clip is reversible, so great for lefties and righties. You know, and you've got options. And again, I'll swap it out again just so you can see. You just press the triad lock, pull that out, and throw that in. Just clicks in, and you're good to go. It's got a injection molded plastic handle, so that's one thing. It is, you can feel it's not an expensive knife at all. But this would be a great beater, keeping your somebody who's on the job working, like, I don't know, do cutting of any type. This is a knockaway knife because these are only like $14. The knife itself, actually, I'm sorry, they're about $20, but nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you have a Tractor Supply nearby, they stock these, and they're like $14 a Tractor Supply. But if you look at them online, they're usually about 20, so you get a better deal at Tractor Supply. Like I said, it's a triad lock, solid, man. That's great. So something just kind of cool. Came across my radar a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, let me get one for the giveaway. And then I was like, I really want one for me as well. So what else came in? What else came in? I think that's really it. Nothing. Oh, I found something. I found something in an old wallet that I had. I was going through my drawer, and I had a couple old wallets in there. You ever see one of these? A card knife, credit card knife. So this puppy is thin. It's the size of a credit card. But if you notice, there's a knife blade in there. So what you do is you twist this to the open position, right? Twist that to the open position. Let me line it up. You pop the knife out, and then you fold over one edge like that. Then you fold over the other edge, and it clicks in and locks. You've got this goofy little knife. I carried this for years in a wallet, and it's ridiculous. You can use this. This is only going to be used for cutting it open an envelope, cutting some tape, maybe some light paracord or something like that. But it's not going to be, anything hard use. It's kind of a cool novelty to take out of your wallet and show people, and then when you're done with it, you just kind of unfold it, put the blade back down, right? You put it back into the lock position if I can get it. Yep, you just line that up. You turn the lock, just like so. And there you go. Credit card ready to slip in your wallet. No idea what the blade steel is or anything else, but I had this for years that I carried around in a wallet. I just think it's kind of interesting. I figured I'd show you guys. It's kind of fun. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and anybody have any big plans? Anybody going anywhere, or barbecues or anything else? This is something that kind of hits me a little bit. Not in a bad way, but What I mean hits me is that you guys know my day job is marketing, and I write commercials and that kind of stuff, and do a lot of social media stuff as part of my job and whatnot. And Memorial Day, if you're in the retail sector or any, you know, or even the party business or whatever, everybody wants to make this a big party weekend, but we forget what it's really about. Yes, we all have a 3-day weekend. At least those who don't work in retail, we have a 3-day weekend, um, and we get the time off. But let's not forget the reason why we had the time off. It's a weekend to remember our fallen heroes. You know, people who gave everything for this country. You know, the old saying, some gave it all. You know, SC Knife Monkey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're having your barbecue or whatever you're doing. You know, just take a couple of minutes to think about some of the veterans in your life and who maybe were lost, or even who weren't lost, but just think of them and keep them in the back of your mind. That's all I ask. All right. Now, with that being said, let's move on. Who does have plans? This is driving me nuts. Okay. I know tomorrow I'm going to this thing in Central Jersey, which is like it's a Renaissance fair. It's a Merlin Fest, they're calling it. And what's cool about it is, if anybody's ever been to a Renaissance fair, they usually act out through the day, different acts of a continuing story that goes through the day, and that leads to the human chessboard and the joust and all that stuff. Well, this one's a little different. So in this one, they perform the parts, and then the people in the crowd get to take their phones and vote on what's going to happen next in the story. So that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, So it's almost like a pick your own adventure book, except they're going to be actors playing the parts out to what the crowd chooses. So if you go to, say, like the 1 o'clock shows, or it's going to be different than the next day, so to speak. So it sounds like it's going to be cool. There's going to be food vendors there, music, and that kind of thing, and just it's going to be like a really good time. And the weather's supposed to be really good tomorrow. Finally, we had like a week of solid rain where it just rained and rained and rained, and that was from last weekend. Basically, it started like Sunday night and rained all the way through to early this morning. So we had, like I said, a solid week of rain. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on Monday, I don't really have any plans yet. I talked to my wife. We may go do a small barbecue. I I've got 2 different grills I can bring. I have 2 travel grills. One large size propane grill that is great for like tailgating and stuff. But then I have a little small, fold up charcoal grill, which is what we used last year on the holiday. And that worked out great. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Last year on Memorial Day, we made these great chicken kebabs that just were maron. They were perfect, absolutely perfect. So, anybody got any plans out there? Come on now. I gotta see something. Am I not seeing everybody in the chat? Or let's see. Let's hit that button there. I don't know. All right. It is what it is. Wow, you guys are really quiet tonight. Don't let me have to do all the talking. Nice, Caleb. That's always fun. Stay home cookout. That's awesome. Just, hey, knife tube and yard work. Listen, we all love knife tube. That's why we're here. Like I said, tomorrow, like I said, I know Barbie's doing hers. That'll be great. I don't remember. I know late tomorrow night before I go on, you'll have MPG EDC on. You'll also have OCD for EDC will be on. They do their Sunday night thing. I'm trying to think who else tomorrow. Forgetting off the top of my head. Hey, Ron, you had it tough today because you went on at the same time Metal Complex went on, and his legions and legions of Metal Complex fans, to which I'm one of. But I actually stood with Ron today. Metal Complex, if I'm there or not, he's not going to know. So that's why I stood and hung out with Ron. So got to show my pal some support, you know. But yeah, that was tough, Ron. And I don't know if you knew that was happening, but I saw his post yesterday that he wasn't going on in his regular slot. He's going on a day behind and going on earlier. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. Not good at all. But Ron, you had a really good turnout anyway, so that was really good, cool. You know, I like the fact that you got the support today. You know, let's see, is there anything else on the table that came in? No, that's about it. We didn't get a lot in. I'm not buying a lot right now. I have some stuff coming from a couple of companies that sent stuff out, but that's not going to be till later this week. We're going to get that stuff in. Free Tiger sent another knife out to me. I'm interested to see that one. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, so many people. It's hard. It must be hard when you have 1,000 people in your live stream to catch even a tenth of the comments because they fly by so fast. It really isn't a chat. I don't know, SC Knife Monkey. Hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram because I got some stuff that I'm not using that I might be willing to trade for something that maybe you're not using, and we'll see what we got. Absolutely. Dragoon, what's up, my friend? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Yeah. I mean, if anybody out there at any point is looking to trade knives, or let me know because I'm always willing to. I've got some knives that not that are bad. It's just that I'm not using because I have so many knives and you can't use them all, and there are some I'm just kind of, let's say, done with. Not because they're bad, but just because I've used them, and you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. SC Knife, I don't know anything off the top of my head that I think of. Like I said, if you had something you thought of, and I kind of see what we can match up, so that would be fair for both people. But I really don't know, like, off the top of my head, what I want to trade. So, Addicted to Blades 2, hello there. I don't know if I said hello to you yet, but man, I got to tell you, Addicted to Blades 2, his TikTok videos of him cutting bottles in half with every type of cutting implement around is just really cool. And I was talking to him about it this week. There was I believe it was an effing grow that he cut with and just sliced through, the bottle with ease. And I said to him, I thought he had sharpened that prior to doing the video, and he said no, that was an out of the box edge. And that blew my mind because I was like, I've got a couple of effing grows and I just don't recall them being that sharp. But then I was like, at the same time, a lot of it's got to be his technique. Addicted to Blades, that makes it look so easy. And I know it's not. I've tried it. It's not that easy. It does take some work to get used to it. And of course, it takes the right, swinging at the right angle with the right amount of force. And, there's a lot of finesse to it. So, but yeah, definitely check out Addicted to Blades 2, his videos on TikTok, because it looks to me like he's having so much fun slicing things in half, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I see. I like when people are doing different things on TikTok and different things on their YouTube channels. That's why I did that goofy video today at the Lake Fred Monster. With my pocket dump. Just kind of a different place, different scenery. A lot of those videos you see that I shoot at work. When I have a break, I just kind of cut away and go, different places at work and shoot them. Or on my drives home, I'll stop because I pass by a lot of scenic places on the way home. So I try to vary it up, and And I try to do, I do a different knife every day because I try to carry a different knife every day, you know. I always find it interesting. There are some guys like me who carry different knives every day. And then I know other people who will carry the same knife for 20 years. And I'm like, that's cool too, that, because those knives are going to be ones that tell a story. My knives aren't going to tell a story, you know, because chances are I'm going to carry them, but unless they're carried every day, sometimes they just don't even get used, just being honest about it. That's why I always say I don't have any safe queens, because if I'm going to use them, if I'm going to carry them, it's just going to be for one day until they go back into the rotation. But yeah, that's just the way I rotate knives through. I that's why I always say to you guys too, with sharpening, everything I ever do just never needs a full sharpening. It's just a light touch up, or mostly stropping, just to maintain an edge. So I don't know. So is there anything that, like, you guys watch my videos? Is there anything you'd like to see me do different in them? Like the Finch video I did this week. I actually did some actual cutting in the video, just some light cutting. I want to show how I cut paper out of the box and cut through some paracord. Nothing too much, but I mean, is that kind of stuff that you guys like to see? Because I know sometimes, like I'm like, well, me doing that's kind of futile because we're all going to go watch Stasa cut everything under the sun. Same thing. We'll go watch Gideon's Tactical. He cuts everything under the sun. Where I'm just kind of giving my first impression of opening it. Without necessarily putting through the hard tests. Mm. So let me know what you think about that. Would you want to see more cutting in my videos? You know, and so the algorithm. I don't mean like self mutilation cutting. No, no. All the goth girls I used to hang out with, that was their thing. But no, not me. So we're not going to go long tonight, by the way. Just so you guys know, only going to stay on till about, for an hour. And we're at 37 minutes, so we've got plenty of time. And the reason is because I'm going to do my live again tomorrow. I'm hoping I'm 38 subs away from 1,300. If I could get 38 subs by tomorrow, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, then there'll be a giveaway on tomorrow's for 1,300. I'm not sure what the giveaway is going to be yet, but I need to get there, before the show tomorrow, so that way I know. If not, it'll probably happen the next week. But SC Knife Monkey, what Benchmade do you have? Just curious. Because you guys know I have some Benchmades that I really like. I'm not apologetic for that at all. 551. Okay. 551. But what's that one? What's that one called? 551. Is that? What model is that? Name wise, because I never like. I know the bug out's a 535, but other than that, I couldn't tell you the numbers of Spyderco's. I mean, of Benchmades. I just know the names. Old school. Okay. Not sure. The Freak. I'm not sure. But let me show you what I'm going to be carrying tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to be carrying this. This is the Rosecraft Tenman. So front flipper, really cool knife. Button lock. just kind of a cool knife. Like I said, I'm going to carry this one tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take it in with me to the fair, but I'll leave it in the car. You know, got that nice button lock, but still has a nice snap to it. And it's a front flipper only. So I know not everybody likes a front flipper, but I don't mind it. You can deploy it too by just doing the button as opposed to having to flip it. But I'll be carrying this one tomorrow. There's another ones that was supplied to me by Rosecraft, so thank you, Rosecraft. But nothing wrong with Kaisers. SC Knife Monkey. I love my Kaisers. I have more Kaisers than I have any other knife. I have a lot of Kaisers, and it wasn't by choice. Like, I don't just go say, oh, it's a Kaiser, I'm going to buy it. It's just because I've liked a lot of what they've released. Nice, SC Knife Monkey. We all need Militars. I have two. I want a mini Militar now, but the one I want is from Drop Bear. You know, I don't know if you guys know, Kaiser has a little customization shop now. If you go on, if you're on the Kaiser website, you can actually go in. It's called My Drop Bear, and they have custom made Kaisers on there that are limited edition. So they have one that I am looking at on the site right now. It's the Mini Militar in the Clover edition, and it is pure fire, and I want that one. And it's not expensive either, but kind of cool. If you get a chance, when you're on the Kaiser website, go down to My Drop Bear, and it'll take you to that page, which is a separate website, but it's, you know, it's through Kaiser. It's their custom shop. I don't know if a lot of people know about that yet because it's fairly new. Huh. You know, it's funny. The TI, I ordered that recently. That thing dropped legitimately on Amazon down to $42 about 3 weeks ago, and they sold out like that. You know, I'm always bargain searching. Like, it's not, some of the stuff I buy is not good for the channel. SC Knife Monkey, put your link in the chat. Feel free. Anybody who's got a channel out there, please put your link in the chat. That way everybody can go subscribe. Yeah, absolutely. Now, like I said, some things I buy, because I'm always searching for deals, I buy a lot of knives that have been discontinued because you get them dirt cheap. The problem is they don't make for good YouTube content because no one wants to watch a video on a knife that they can't buy. So it's a catch-22. You know, I'm getting a cool knife, but at the same time, I can make a video about it, but it's not going to get many views because, you know, it's just not. But I don't know. Do you guys watch many videos about knives that are discontinued? Because I know periodically if I come across one that's discontinued, you know, and I can still get it, I'll go back and watch reviews and whatnot to kind of form an opinion on it. But other than that, I don't really have a reason to go back and watch some of the older videos unless it's something I'm going to have. You know, I find that now that also speaks for knives that are currently still in production but are like a couple years old. Like, there are a couple of cold steel models I was interested in, and nobody's done new videos on these particular models in like 5-6 years. But the model hasn't changed, and the information was really good. Yeah, Caleb does a great show too. You know, he's really just getting into the swing of things. Caleb, what you've only done like 4 or 5 right now, right? Just basically a month and a half or so you've been doing them. You know, since Legion Steel kind of they're not doing the Tuesdays anymore. I know you jumped in there, and check Caleb's channel out. He does a good job with it. You know, something like that. Yeah, I know I'm there every week for it, so I try to support everybody in this community. I know the community's big, but there's like a group of us, probably about 100 of us, that are all in the same kind of circle. You know, and we all we all greet each other and that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. You know, but oh, no problem, Caleb. And if Caleb, if you were doing a crappy job, I wouldn't be there. Just being honest. You know. Mm. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might be less than that. But there are definitely a group of us who we've all become friends through KnifeTube, and most of us have never actually met each other. But I feel like I know all of you. It's really funny. And what's great is like, all right, I'll give you one. Fook Doozle is not the easiest name to type in the chat, but I know the up and down, lowercase, you know, large case, lowercase, lowercase. I know how to write his name so fast now without even thinking about it and making all the case corrections. And it's just because I've said hello to everybody so many times. That's everybody here, you know. It's great. I know like when you're typing, say like Twisted Sis, right? She capitalizes the first letter, but sis is not capitalized. So, but I type it, boom, 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 and I just remember it like instantly now. You know, that's why when Kelly White changed it to Kelly's Mishmash, really threw me off. Same thing when Barbie went from Barbie Chambers EDC girl to just Barbie EDC girl, really threw me off. Yes, see, Dragon, that's the other thing, when you added the underscore LSK, that confused me at first. And then I was like, oh, okay, Legion of Steel Knives, I get it now. But at first I didn't get it. I was like, oh, okay, he added that and you're just trying to confuse me. The one that really throws me off because it's such a long name to type is Noble Reviews Blade Walker. When it was just Blade Walker, it was so much easier to type. But he's a good dude. I'm glad he seems to be doing a little bit better. So I know everybody's helped him out, which is really, really cool. You know, but yeah, see, we could abbreviate, right? I get that, but I don't know if everybody, because it doesn't, when you abbreviate it, it doesn't highlight it for the person, you know? And I know sometimes, like, when I'm watching the lives, I'm doing like 5 other things. So if I see it highlighted, man, boom, I see it right away. Oh, yeah, yep. Got to have that large N at the end, the Dragoon. But has anybody heard? I didn't reach out to them this week. I usually talk to them, but I haven't talked to Marissa or Marshall at all this week. I thought they were going to go live today, but I don't think they did. I didn't get any notification. And I was busy. Like I said, I was running around all day. I was sightseeing and this, that, the other thing. So I didn't really have time to reach out because I usually will reach out and ask them. Any idea, Caleb, when they're going to come back? I know they're busy. They're really trying to work to get the new setup in place. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. As we get to summer, the viewer count is going to drop because we're not all going to be stuck inside for the winter. We're going to be outside doing things like I was today. If anybody had a live stream like before like 5 o'clock, I wasn't there because I was, you know, I got there just all right for Mark Perez's, Route 10 text. I got to his live stream right at the end before he was doing the giveaway because I had just gotten home. I had been on the road from early in the morning and I had just gotten home and it was just in time to catch the end of his and then move on to Ron's. But like I'm gonna be out most of the day tomorrow, so I'm gonna miss everybody who's got daytime lives. You know, it's just the way it's gonna be mostly on weekends. So You know, that's why I'm generally in the ones at night, because myself personally, I'm a vampire. I stay up all night. What I think I want to do, one one crazy Saturday, is go on at like right after Big Red at like 2 in the morning and pull an all nighter and see how many people I could just get to stop by. I think if I did that, I would do it as a vertical, as a part source of horizontal. Yeah, I think it would be fun. You know, might even do it like as a kind of a fundraiser type of thing. You know, I think it would be a lot of fun to try and go overnight. You know, I once stayed awake for 72 hours straight. We went on a ski trip, and me and my friend Billy decided we weren't going to sleep. And this was a ski trip in name only, because none of us out of my little group, there were 50 of us that went on this trip. We rented a bus, went to Pennsylvania to one of the ski resorts there, and from the time we got on the bus, we were drinking. Got to the hotel, we were drinking. We went to the first, they had a party called the Jamaican Me Crazy party. So we had dinner, then we went to the Jamaican Me Crazy dance party, and we were getting drunk all night. Now, mind you, this is when I'm in my late 20s. No way I could do this now. And we're drinking and drinking and drinking. And my friend Billy challenges me. He says, why don't we see if we could stay up for the whole trip and not sleep? And I was like, well, yeah, that's a great idea. We'll just keep eating and drinking and staying awake. And that's what we did. We stood awake, and we people were going to sleep. We were wandering. We were wandering around the hotel. We broke into the pool, the indoor pool at the hotel, at like 3 in the morning, and we were in the pool with beers drinking till like 6 in the morning. We're wrapped in towels, and we're heading back to the room, and the hotel manager jumps out, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And my friend looks at him. My friend Pat just looks at him and goes, shut your pie hole. There's nothing to fucking see here. Now get out of our way. And we went back to the hotel room, right? Now, mind you, this is like 6 in the morning. People started coming down for breakfast at 7. And here comes my friend, one of my friends, Liam, big tall guy. He was so hammered that somewhere along the way, he had an American flag wrapped around him, almost like a toga, and went to breakfast in the ski resort that way. It was insane times, but you stay awake for 72 hours straight and drink and eat and do nothing but drink and eat. At the end of it, you feel nothing but pain. Pain, pain, pain. When I say pain, what happened was the bus drove us back. The bus was going back to Brooklyn, but I wasn't going back to Brooklyn. I was staying in Pennsylvania to go meet up with my dad and my stepmom. So they came to pick me up at the ski resort. I didn't take the bus back with everybody. And this was a Sunday night, and they had to go bowling. And they're like, well, we can't drop you off at the house. We're going to go bowling. You have to come with us. I was like, okay. I am in full hangover mode. But when I tell you, every bit of my body hurt to no end. It was probably the worst feeling I've ever had. I will never trade the experience for anything because it was awesome. The trip was just so much fun. I met a girl from Australia one of the nights. We hung out with her like all night. It was really cool experience, especially when she tried to explain to me what Vegemite was, you know, and she was like trying to explain to me the taste, and it just doesn't sound appealing, you know, like a salt paste. Ugh. You know, salt paste on crackers. Ugh. But anybody out there ever eat Vegemite? Because I see it periodically in the international section of the grocery store. Yeah, exactly. Salt, it's Vegemite, yeah. And I have not tried it because I don't know. One, I don't know if I'm brave enough to try it, although I've tried a lot of things, including eating like live crickets and stuff. I've done all that kind of stuff, but Vegemite, I don't know. You ever had something so salty like your eyes almost want to go cross? That's how I picture it in my head, you know? But yeah, that's what I got. And that's what I figured, Caleb. I figured it would be exactly that way, you know? like I said, I've had, you ever have those sweet and sour candies when first like you're like, oh yeah, that makes that bitter face, and all of a sudden it's really cool after that. I just figures Vegemite's just the bitter face all the time, without any happiness, unless you grew up on it. That's a different thing. It's like my grandfather would tell me that around the holidays they would make a goat's head, and that they would make a goat, in Italy, and they would have the goat's head, and that they would eat everything, including the eyeballs and everything. That was all a delicacy. And I was like, nope. My grandpa was like, no, you would have done it if you were there because that's what we did when we were growing up, you know? Mm. And okay, so you have this tub of Vegemite. Do you actually open it or does it just sit in the closet? So that way, if God forbid they stop by, you could say, oh, yeah, look, I have it, you know? Or do you send it off to people kind of like a closet? Yeah, I figured, you know. I think I was the only other thing I could think of is you send it off like a fruitcake to somebody else. You just kind of pass it on, you know. But unless I don't know, like fruitcake is actually not as bad as people make it out to be. It is edible, but I don't know, man. Vegemite scares me. But hey, you know who's not here tonight? Lou. Loser is not here. He's usually in on these with me every week. You know. Mm, yeah, I bet you have, Caleb, and that's you're a better man than me because I don't think I could do it. You know. No, no loser. He's not here tonight. Usually he's usually in the chat, abusing me in some kind of way, which I like. I enjoy. He it's good. He has a good back and forth with me. Same thing in the comment section. By the way, speaking of comments, I got somebody who commented on the Wixco video, and when they had said that they hadn't even heard of Pharaoh Monster, and I get that because Pharaoh Monster's only been around since 2022, so they're still fairly new in the knife game. But we know they kind of took the knife world by storm. And this person was like, "Well, I don't even know the parent company," and they're like, "Just sounds like some, you know, pop-up Chinese company." And I was like, "Well, no." The one thing I don't know if people realize is Pharaoh Monster, before launching the Pharaoh Monster brand, they were an OEM for a lot of other knife companies. So you may have, and same thing myself, not just you guys, but me as well. We may have been using knives that were produced by Pharaoh Monster with somebody else's name on them and never knew. So like I said, I know they've been around since 2002, Pharaoh Monster, but as an OEM company manufacturing knives for other people. So I think that's why when Pharaoh Monster hit, their quality was so good because they've been doing it a long time. Just weren't some startup company. And I think now with Wixco, they're really hitting it out of the park, and I really mean that. I had the three Wixco knives so far. They're fantastic. Yeah, Caleb. How I got Wixco's. I wasn't part of the first initial group that got Wixco sent to me. How I got Wixco was I ordered the Pexton, and I got that in. And the reason why I ordered that one was because, I told the story before. I ordered that before it was technically available to order. There was a glitch on their website that made two models available to order, and they were actually just testing their e-financing, their online, processing. And I put the order in, and they had emailed me and everything. But when I got the Pexton, I did a short on it, and I tagged them as a collaborator on Instagram. They accepted, and that video did really well. And then I decided to do, I had already recorded a full unboxing video, and I posted that on YouTube, and I sent them the link, and they really liked what I did, and they were like, "Hey, we want to work with you. Pick two knives, and we'll send them to you." And that's how I wound up, with the collaboration with Wixco. And then they sent me the discount code and the affiliate link. So I'm really happy and I talked to them this week about doing something else, and they informed me that I was now on the list for Pharaoh Monster. Now, I don't know what Ferro Monster's coming is because they said it might take a while because Ferro Monster doesn't have anything ready to release. Yeah, Caleb, you have an Instagram account. I mean, it's really simple. You know, if you do shorts, I mean, literally, you could do a YouTube short and just take that same video and put it right on TikTok and right on Instagram. And I only started using TikTok in the last 3 weeks, and I'm already up to like 130 followers on there. And I'm finding that I'm gaining a lot of subscribers from there. That I'm noticing I'm seeing the names on there, and now they're subscribing to me on YouTube. So. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up. It's an hour. Like I said, I just came in because Big Red wasn't on tonight, and I know a lot of people enjoy hanging out with Big Red, especially me. I love Big Red's channel. I love Big Red. He does such a great job. And with him not being on, I figured I'd just jump in, hang out with everybody. I love hanging out with you guys. And I'll be back on tomorrow, my regular 11 o'clock Eastern time slot. I don't know what we're going to talk about because we kind of went over all the new knives, but I got plenty of stuff here. We'll go over and we'll just have a fun time. So good night, Neil. Thank you for stopping by. And everybody, I really appreciate you coming by. As we get closer to monetization, we're very close as far as watch hours go. Also, I did start a buy me a coffee. So if anybody does want us to support the channel, you can go to the link, the description on any of the videos, and there's the new buy me a coffee link on there. I'm not looking to make any money. Anybody who donates the buy me a coffee, that's just going to go back to buying more knives. So, and I do have a merch store if you like Adventure 50 merchandise. That's also in the link. And with that being said, everybody, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great night.